Let's podcast live. It's OG Live, brought to you by Sleek Fleet. We're starting things a little bit differently on OG Sleek Fleet Live because we're at Nature's Relief Hemp Store in Raleigh on Western Boulevard. I just cracked open the 5 flowers. I've not had this rosé lemonade that has 5 milligrams of Delta-9. Jennifer Wilson, who's the owner of Nature's Relief, is hanging out with us. Hi, Jennifer.
How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us out. Appreciate you working with us and having us out here at the Western Boulevard location, which just had its grand opening back on 420.
Yes, we did. Very successful.
Okay, good. I'm glad everything went well. What am I consuming here?
That is basically a non-alcoholic THC drink that's low dose.
Mhm.
So it's 5 milligrams of Delta-9 THC and 5 milligrams or maybe more of CBD. And it is their new flavor.
It's 5 and 5. And yeah, I had not seen this rosé lemonade cooler, which is actually damn delicious.
It's really good. It's my favorite. It is
Okay.
my favorite. So I love it.
So you have a fridge of these drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Joe was gravitating. What did you see, Joe? You thought they were like these.
There was the Monster iced tea half and half lemonade.
Oh, Cycling Frog. Yeah.
Ian was like, if you can drink five flowers, then we can graduate.
Yes, exactly.
So I settled on the 3 milligram Delta-9.
Yeah, that's Bluegrass Tea. I'm not sure the company at this moment. Oh, it comes from Functional Distribution, also where 5 Flowers comes
Okay.
from. Independent distribution company. So.
Okay. But you have local stuff as well.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, our number one drink is actually a local drink that's actually made by one of our employees. So
That's the hippie sips?
the Hippie Sips. Yeah.
Okay, so what's in the hippie sips? That looks like it would be one of. It almost looks like a smoothie more than anything else,
Well-
or like a wellness shot that I'll see at the supermarket. What am I looking at?
So it's a hand pressed small batch fruit juice mixed with Delta-9, and it's 50 milligrams, and it comes in some of the most amazing
I'm sorry, excuse me,
flavors.
50?
50 milligrams. Yeah.
Who's drinking 50 in one shot?
Me.
Oh,
So-
So is it a sipper or is it a?
well, it's a juice. So
Okay.
you're gonna I just drink it like a juice. It does have sugar in it, and it's natural sugar. So it's from the fruit. They're not adding anything else in there. It's amazing. It's all natural. They hand pick out the ingredients to make sure that it's it only lasts about 14. It's an artesian drink that he's making, him and his wife are making together.
I have people
So-
ask me all the time, where do I get seltzers? You
Mhm.
guys talk about seltzers, 5 flowers in particular, and you guys have them.
Yeah, we're actually we're about to expand that, double it up, and we might actually start pouring soon. So
Oh, okay. That'll
Yeah.
be
That's a
interesting.
thing.
that's a thing. You haven't been to Wake and Bake yet, I take it.
No.
I mean, we want to plug people, but
Yes.
yeah, it's like, they're pretty cool.
Okay. So
It's expensive.
So we just kind of jumped into doing the live show here, which is kind of the beauty of doing this. So let's kind of rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
With Nature's Relief Hemp Store, you've got how many locations now? This is the 5th one.
This is our 5th location.
Okay.
Mhm.
5th location.
Can I
Man.
just claim Garner as the home base or?
So that's actually our home office.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you
so
go.
See, all good things
intuition
come
there.
from Garner.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
the one thing that we've been telling people, and I think you've had some customers come in with this kind of attitude, I think there's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
What is legal? What is not? What is real stuff, as people like to say? They go out of state where it is like legal, and they're like, oh, there's nothing like this I can get. But technically you can for now. So where do things stand, in terms of the state and the legality of what is being sold in stores like this?
So I think the biggest concern is that there is no regulation right now in
Mhm.
our state.
Mhm.
So as far as what we can sell, is we sell hemp derived products, we sell flour, THCA flour, we sell drinks that have Delta-9 in them, we sell other products like CBD and topicals and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
even products for pets.
And when you say flour, this is something that Giglio kind of was flabbergasted by when I said, yeah, they've got pre-rolled things that you can smoke.
Yes.
These are actual things you can buy.
Yes, they are completely legal to buy in the
Mhm.
state. The 2018 Farm Bill,
Mhm.
of course, helps us out with that. I don't think that the state has the intention to get rid of hemp. There's been a really big turn in the industry. Right now, what's happening is we have David and Goliath. Like
Okay.
cannabis is going after hemp, but they've realized recently that how profitable hemp is, how we're really looking into it. Like you let the nerds out into the plant. You know, that's what you did. So you just basically gave them something and said, find what you can. And they found everything that they could. So I think it just or is being descheduled right now to a Schedule 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like more medical. They're going to start doing tests and stuff on it. Unfortunately, that's not the best thing for recreational, your choice, but we that's a whole different podcast. But
okay, when that happens, we can explore that conversation.
I think one thing I really like about Nature's Relief is you don't have to get a buzz, you don't have to get knocked on your ass. You have some stuff that can just chill you out, and relax. So you come in, you have those kind of questions,
definitely,
you have those kind of conversations, and
yeah,
that to me is more valuable than trying to guess. Buying something on the corner or smoking something. Like you're just trying I'm trying to figure this thing out. You know what I mean?
In college, back in high school?
No, I'm just saying,
know that guy in the corner dorm?
At night, like Ian was saying before, if you want the greatest sleep of your life, maybe then have the cycle frost.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to relax before the game, let's go with the bluegrass tea.
Yeah, that's the key, is that it's about what we can individualize different kinds of like reliefs. We can individualize their fun. That's the good thing about the plant. It's very versatile. It's got, we can't make claims, but I have found it to have medical properties.
Sure.
We just found out recently that I have skin cancer on my shoulder. And the very first thing I did was slap out some Flat River CBD and start rubbing it in. It's this local guy. And I'm like, I'm going to start getting this started right now before they cut it off. But, I get to choose how I want to take it. There, you can inhale, you can drink it. You can take it in a tincture. You can take a bath with a bath bomb and it'll just relieve your skin.
Bath bombs too?
Oh yeah, there's everything. The skincare area of CBD is not been looked into, and it really needs to be. So,
well, the thing that I find interesting as this has become legal, and I've tried to dabble in what works and what doesn't work. What I've noticed, you're talking about tinctures, you're talking about drinks, you're talking about things like chocolate bars, the gummies. Everything has a different onset to it.
Yes.
Everything, I guess, but everybody's body is different, and how it metabolizes in your body is different. And I guess those are the kinds of questions that if you have, you can kind of work through it here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Because you're right.
Yeah, because like for instance, there's one that when you came on for 919 Vice, it was the Duderman.
The Duderman Farms. Another local company. Yeah.
That's another local company?
It's another local company.
And I mean, yeah, like I one of those things where I was sitting on the couch watching television, and I've mentioned this before. I'm like, when you can feel it in your feet, it's doing some work. But it's not all that, because the last time you were on too, you're talking about very highly specific needs, anxiety, stress relief, etc., things that chill you out. Those are those adaptogens.
Yes.
Okay.
And hemp. And hemp is also an adaptogen. Yeah.
So for those who are unfamiliar, who might not have listened to that 919 Bias podcast, what exactly are we talking about with adaptogens?
So adaptogens are basically plants that are healthy for us. They help us adapt to things that come in stressors. We have daily stressors, like even our environment's a daily stressor on our body, because we're fighting off all these chemicals and stuff like that. But also stress of, teenagers, anxiety, because you're not sure if
very
you have,
seen right now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You have all these things going on. It breaks down to a bunch of different things, but they're basically plants that grow in a very, very, very hard place to grow. Rhodiola is one of them. It grows in Russian Siberian, it grows in negative 30 degrees.
Okay.
And we can take it, and it helps us with anxiety, inflammation, just all kinds of stressors. It helps us sleep. It helps our body adapt. So that's the adaptogens that we've been using them for forever. I mean, it's been in Chinese medicine and medicine everywhere, all over the world. It's very easy things like ginkgo biloba and ashwagandha. I am not saying that right, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I still have trouble with acai. I always want to call it acai or whatever it is. But
Blue Lotus is also something, and lion's mane. That's getting a lot of media attention right now, because my lion's mane actually helps bring back childhood memories. So they're
interesting.
Yeah. So
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Positive thoughts about the Miami Dolphins not losing to the Buffalo Bills at Joe Robbie Stadium. Do I want to bring those memories back?
That's not what you want.
No, that's not what I want.
If I really stepped into a driver right now, I could hit Dorton Arena from here. I'm just letting people know where we are. We're on Western Boulevard, across from the XL Soccer World. There's a Harris Teeter behind us over here. We're not that far from NC State's campus. We're really not far from the arena.
Yeah, not at all.
And our home base of the Breeze Through. So come out and see us. what is the actual 5517?
Yep, 5517 Western
See,
Boulevard.
that hasn't kicked in yet. So
yeah, you can see
I
it
could, or
backwards.
did it because I could read it backwards.
That's great.
Those are things that I worry about with Joe. Before we started, he was like, "Oh, it's only like a low dosage." I'm like, "There's no such thing as low dosage with you. I worry about you sometimes."
That's how the podcast works. We try to get me in different states of sobriety.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We have to do
we
another show
We
tonight.
can take care of that. It might take about 15 minutes. But
Yeah, that's that one last thing before we say goodbye. And this was on the most recent episode of 919 Vice because Adam Eschball came into this location and he bought the Nowadays.
yes.
Which is yet again another form of taking in THC. But this one is almost like a tequila alternative.
So nowadays is really specified as an alcohol alternative for people who do not want the side effects of alcohol. They can drink this and it gives them a very similar feeling. It's less ragey,
I'll tell you
way
what,
more fun.
We did an experiment because it said it was a quick onset.
Yeah.
And Eschball poured the suggested serving, which is 1.5 ounces. We did the shot.
Mhm.
I'd say about 30 minutes in, I was grinning ear to ear. Wayne was chilling. He was vibing. I got a text from Eschball earlier today saying he had taken a little bit more and he had some of the best night of sleep he's had in a long time.
Yeah.
So those are all the kind of things you can check out. And you had seen, they almost have like little like shots, right? Like
they
the
look
hydration
like
shot.
energy hydrators.
Like energy hydrators, right?
So the nowadays is those are just little shots that you can buy individual,
Okay.
and then there's all the other drinks. And
Oh,
stuff.
no, the one that really got me was the liquid IV packet.
Well, it's similar. It's just the drinks are really effective because you were talking about how it works. Like smoking's instant. Like you and you can kind of gauge it a little bit, but it's it's smoking.
And it's quick.
Fire
too.
in your lungs.
It'll go away quick too.
Yeah,
In my experience,
and it does
it'll
wear
go
off
away
quick. The drinks are 15 minutes to 30 minutes because you're getting the emulsification not only from your capillaries, but then you're also processing everything else with your liver. So they're more effective. They last a little longer, and they're not giving you all these side effects of smoking. And
We have no rules
So-
on the YouTubes, but I should point out there is a sign right there that says you need to be 21 to come in.
So yeah, we do require 21 plus, even though the state says 18 for CBD. We believe that this is a 21 plus product, and we play responsibly. So
That works. I might get some of those nowadays shots for the after dark tonight.
that would be great.
Just saying.
Oh, but no, before you leave me though,
Yeah.
the ones that look like the liquid IV packets.
Yeah.
They seem. I think they have a little bit more.
They're a higher quantity of product.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Because Joe
So you're saying
loves-
not a good idea for Joe?
Yeah.
No, I
He
would stick
loves-
with that and maybe grab a hippie sip for the way home and then take that and go
You
home.
gotta stay away from those hippie sips at 50 milligrams. The reason, you've got when Ian comes through, we've got a few hippie sips that we're gonna check out. So
Yeah.
we'll do that a little bit later on. No, but those packets worry me because Joe's the type of person who
I love a
loves
packet.
hydration on hydration.
Yeah,
So he'll
I
just
just
get
keep
water and he
drinking
just
water.
hydrates it even
Yeah.
more with the packets. Now you've got your thing.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just something to look at. It's
Drink water,
unreal.
man. That's your best way to hydrate.
Jennifer, thanks for jumping on with us on the podcast. And obviously, I think I tell people, if you want to support the podcast, you support people who support us, our corporate champions. So come on out to Nature's Relief, locations across the triangle. Check them out online, naturesreliefhempstore.com. That's RELEAF, hempstore.com. And we're going to try those hippie sips a little bit later on. Right, Joe?
You mean later in this program?
Later in
or
this program.
in the actual
No,
After
later
Dark?
in this
Today,
program.
Now.
Yeah, Joe will be floating. Giglio's going to be floating the PNC Arena later today. That's what it's all about. All right, we are back live. We've been live the entire time, and we are at Nature's Relief Hemp Store. We actually do have a normal show coming up. Don't worry. Joe's going to sit down here in this location in a second. We actually went to, hold on, I'm like completely discombobulated. It's not because of the 5 flowers. I can tell you that. It's because I'm just not in my usual space. That's why. So let me just go ahead and flip this over to Sleek Fleet, which is bringing you OG live. Check out sleek-fleet.com. No, what I was saying was we went over to PNC Arena yesterday to see what the Canes were all about, coming back from Game 5, finding themselves going into Game 6 tonight with a chance to force a Game 7. The one thing that I kind of picked up on yesterday, Joe, in Rod's press conference and even from the players, It's almost like a mistake that we're making. This kind of like general attitude that we're assuming there's a game 7 already. There's a game tonight, a game 6. It's not a given that they're going to get to a game 7. They were almost like reminding us of that case.
No, their vibe, as you saw, was pretty good.
Yeah.
That they're feeling themselves pretty good because of what we had talked about. When you play every single game the same way, well, then you really do believe you're capable of winning every single game. And I really do think it gets to the way that they won games 4 and 5. That translates. We know that travels for the Hurricanes. The question is, what will the Rangers look like tonight? Because you and I expected to see the fastball from the Rangers in game 5. That did not matriculate.
No.
So what's going to happen tonight for the Rangers? Have I taunted Igor Shesterkin into channeling his inner Patrick Waugh or even Henrik Lundqvist and coming up with a shutout against the Hurricanes tonight? So that's the interesting part, the variable part. Vegas says the Canes in a walk tonight, though.
Vegas is always like the Canes, though. Vegas continues to like the Canes. I don't get it. But here's the thing: you're talking about taunting. You're talking about taunting Igor Shesterkin. We pulled up to Sebastian Aho's stall, and you were taunting him about the beard. That's how this conversation got started.
You remember how young he was,
and
how
baby,
and he couldn't grow anything.
But that's how it usually is. Like I pointed out to him, I had a bald chin strap for the longest time before anything connected.
Eric Stahl had, the lightest of light beards that first couple of years. You just got to grow into it.
That's right. You get a little older and things happen. But anyway, here's that back and forth with Sebastian Aho.
Pressed.
Yeah. See? Appreciate it.
Just being nice. No, I'm saying it's
nice
impressive compared to years past. Right?
Hey, look, for the longest time, I had a chin strap with no hair for like the longest time. Then it finally happened.
All right.
You're 26.
What do you got?
There's time.
7.
27. Oh, look at
6.
you.
These guys,
Come on, don't lie to me.
No.
they have to shave twice a day. That's why they're tough.
Yeah.
What gives you the most confidence about the way you've played? And I know the refrain here is that we haven't played poorly in any of the games, but what gives you the most confidence in the last 2 games about the way you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously winning helps to gain some confidence, but I mean, I felt like we've been confident group the whole year, and it hasn't changed at any point. Obviously, not always gone our way, but just the way we think and how we do business here is just trusting each other and working your tail off, and trust the system, trust the guy next to you, trust yourself. So it's the confidence has been good throughout the whole time, I think.
Reassuring the last game, you guys, your line, the score sheet, you kept scoring from all the other.
Yeah.
Show the depth of the team.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to be carrying the load.
I've said it, I think, a few times this postseason that we don't care who scores the goals or how we get the wins. All we think is how to try to win the hockey game, and there's obviously you need every single guy to do it, and obviously sometimes like last game you say depth, but I think it's every night. It takes 20 guys. Some guy might score more than other guy, but that might be blocking a shot or taking an important face-off or killing a penalty or whatever. Those guys, everything matters this time of year, and we just try to win hockey.
This guy's moved the other night.
Unreal, really. That's a great move. I mean, and massive goal to pull that move at that time. That was huge.
As well as Jordan has played for you guys, all season, but especially in the playoffs. Was it a big lift to see him score like that, and especially not off a shin pad, but to score a pretty goal?
Goal's a goal. No, I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see him get one, but that's such a big goal for the team. Tying the game up, and obviously took a lot of momentum out of it, and kind of never looked back in that game. So yeah, he does so many things for the team. So either way, he's super important. But scoring a goal like that's big time.
I thought you were different in game 4. Like there was a palpable, obvious sense of you weren't ready to be done.
Yeah, that's obviously you want to. I mean, you don't want to have any regrets. You want to, give all you have to obviously it's a must-win game. So that's I mean you don't want to. You just want to go out there and do best you can to win that game.
My default mode is fuck you mode when I podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You can be in that. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think Giglio. Giglio, I don't think Aho was really understanding your whole FU mode thing.
No, he wasn't. I was disappointed. I need to learn how to say it in Finnish. I think.
If you say it in Finnish, then it might actually work out. From Bennett, what's Giglio's thought process on going with the famous UNC hoodie here?
Oh,
because you were wearing the hoodie in the locker room.
Good
yesterday.
things happen for me when I wear the hoodie.
I see.
I've learned to amend how I say that.
Good things happen to you.
Good things happen for me.
So that means
when I wear the hoodie.
So what we're talking about here is a straight up, yes, good things happen for you, as in we get more content.
Sure.
That's what it's all about. That's ultimately what it's all about. From Paul, that hat, the hair, and the shirt combo for Giglio makes him look like the dirtbag uncle. I mean, kind of. Have him keep sipping. Might work out that way. I don't know. All right, Rod Brindamore was in peak Rod Brindamore mode yesterday because there's 2 days of it, Joe.
No, the first day you get curt Rod. The second day you get annoyed Rod.
And
then this morning it's just the speed through.
Oh man,
it's a drive by.
I scrubbed through the audio from this morning, and it was like, there's nothing here. But here's Rod Brindamore yesterday during availability, discussing Brett Pesce, who this morning he gave an update to this answer from yesterday, as in no, Brett Pesce is not going to happen tonight. But he did answer that question and a few questions about the power play.
Rod, you had Pesce back out on the ice today. Any update kind of what do you think his status might be moving forward?
Yeah, it was good to see him out there first time. I don't think status has changed.
Is that a change you can make this late in a series, even if he said, I'm ready to go?
Yeah, definitely. If you could. I'm not sure you would, but you definitely could.
You feel like the guys that you have, you're just blessed to have them instilled with that attitude, because you go in the room there and they say, look, nothing has changed. We won one. Didn't change it. We won two. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
That they're kind of unwavering in their thinking about where you are. Are you just blessed to have that, or is it something you instill?
Well, I've said it all since I've been here. I'm blessed with the group and the kind of people that are in there, and makes my job certainly easier when you have this type of situation, to stay focused and all that what you're talking about, because they just get it.
They only had one power play opportunity in game 4. They only had 3 in game 5. Do you think that's something that you guys have done differently, or has the game been called differently?
Yeah, I don't know. I think listen, we know they got an elite group out there, and you don't want to give them opportunities. I think we did have a couple where we kind of, I don't want to say give them a power play, but we could have definitely done something different to avoid it, and we need to make sure we're not doing that, because that's just that's not a good recipe for success. So we understand that where their strengths are, and that's one of them.
So that was Rod Brindamore yesterday. This is from this morning's availability, where he had again initially gave an update on Pesce, but I thought there was an interesting exchange at the end about Game 6 being back here. Evgeny Kuznetsov talking about how it's going to be hell. Everybody has glommed onto that, which is great to see. And the exchange with Rod, who's very, very locked in with ancillary stuff like what's the crowd going to be, didn't quite understand where things were going.
I can ask you this now because we're at Game 6. When you saw his comments about this being hell, if you had to come back for Game 6 before you even won Game 5, were you surprised?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? He said something about coming here.
Yeah, he said before Game 5 that
he wanted,
if we could win, and the Rangers don't want to come back here because it's going to be hell.
Oh, well, everybody knows this is a pretty loud building, and there's a lot of in any type of game, but obviously a big game like this, it's I'm sure it'll be very emotional.
I know you like the rhythm of maybe every other day games. To get an extra day off, though, and give Freddie a little breathing room, do you like having that?
Not really. I just like to get these going. You're not really, I mean, there's little adjustments you have to make, obviously, but I don't know, you're not really practicing. Nice to just keep going.
So that was Rob Brittamore from today. It's funny when the Canes were down 3-0 to the Rangers, coming back game 4 Saturday night. You and I probably leaned into this a little bit more than you did, but I wasn't really feeling a great crowd on Saturday night for game 4 because it was it was a
certain resignation there. Anytime you get down 3-0, yeah.
And the resignation from being down 0-3 to the Rangers wasn't necessarily from this specific series. It was a culmination of series that had gone this way, going, really just as a carryover from what happened to Florida last year, or what happened with Florida last year. So I was under the impression, given how Rangers fans have been, given how down Canes fans had been, that Saturday was going to be a Ranger building. Didn't turn out that way. There were Ranger fans there, but it was not as much or as loud as I thought it was going to be.
There were more Ranger fans in the lower bowl than there had been in the other games or any other playoff series. But the Canes fans were there in the upper level, I thought.
And I think tonight, it's the opposite of what I felt going into game 4.
Sure.
I think tonight, because Nestov is right, it's going to be hell. Tonight's going to be a ridiculous kind of night. Although I don't think you and I are drinking the right kind of stuff to get incredibly crazy about stuff.
No.
I would highlight something else. How's the hippie sip? I haven't had the hippie sip yet.
It's delicious.
It's just like juice.
It tastes like pound cake a little bit.
Okay.
With like a raspberry drizzle on top.
All right.
Yeah.
And this is Delta 9? Okay.
You're asking the wrong person.
No, I got the nod. So I know what's up. Okay, yeah, it's fresh pressed juice without any real. There's no, as I like to say, there's no dankness to this. It does not have what you would consider a hemp flavor to it. Some of these have a hemp flavor to them.
It's delicious.
It's pretty good. I'm going to be useless later, but that's another story.
Somebody has to be in charge of the after dark.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's do a little housekeeping, shall we?
Housekeeping.
We've got the OG Beard Gang. As we talked about earlier, Sebastian Aho is not quite there yet with all of his beard. He's going to get there one day. I wasn't there, so don't worry about it. Maybe he can get there. You guys have been sending in your beard updates. Hopefully, we have another series to grow out the beards. When it's all wrapped up, we will put the last call out for the beards before you shave it. And obviously, we have a bottle of the Colonel to give away for the OG Beard Gang.
You're
Joe.
Feeling so generous.
I mean, we're giving away a bottle of Eagle Rare later today.
Oh, for the moms,
for the sports moms. So
yeah.
Yes, we're absolutely going to do that. Big thanks to Mosquito Authority for sponsoring Ovies and Giglio. Check them out online, bugsbite.com. With Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority, you can bundle and save. Mosquito's going to take care of the outside of your house, like they've been doing for me, and on the inside of the house, taking care of the critters that are trying to come in. And look, it's going to get warmer. These guys are looking for moisture. Speaking of moisture barrier, bottom of your house, it works.
You got to get rid of all that stuff if you're trying to sell your house. Got to protect your number one investment. Bugsbite.com.
Also, big thanks to Breeze Through. Joe was mentioning the Breeze Through earlier today, our home base, which is by PNC Arena. I will probably need some Breeze Through coffee on my way back to the studio tonight before we do the After Dark.
Yes.
Got to perk up a little bit. So check out Breeze Through. Maybe you're tailgating. You're on your way to start tailgating. Drop on by. They've got a crowler machine, which is awesome. They've got a great beer cave. And, of course, they've got snacks and other hydration. I don't know, maybe drop by Nature's Relief to get one of those packets and put it in water while you're hydrating out at the arena.
Why not?
Sounds like a good time to me. And, of course, big thanks to Butcher's Market. Check them out online, thebutchersmarkets.com. We've been talking about this as it relates to tailgating. Maybe you don't have time to grill while you're out there. Pick up a sandwich.
Yeah, go over by the Lake Boone. Get yourself a sandwich. I'm just going to say it. Steak and cheese, still the fastball.
Have you had the French dip yet?
I've had the French dip, the steak and cheese, still the fastball.
Still the fastball. Still the fastball.
You know me.
I know.
I don't like to divert.
You do not.
If we die, we're dying with our fastball.
I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Again, that's thebutchersmarkets.com. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, Taylor Vippolis, former North Carolina wide receiver, Meadowlark, hanging out with the Dan Le Batard show, but also is it North Rocklands High School, Vip, up in New York? That's where you went to high school, right?
Yeah, me and Flo from Progressive. That's the big two, they say, from North
Wait, whoa,
Rockland.
whoa. Are you serious right now? Flo from Progressive was there? Joe knows.
Not at the same time, a little older, but
yeah, no, Joe knows how I feel about Flo, but that's another conversation for another day. Were you rocking the Rangers? Is that what I see?
yeah, it's from New Era, I believe.
Okay. A lot of New York fans have been feeling like it's 1994, but you weren't even alive in 1994, were you?
I was born in 1994.
You were born in 1994. Yeah. So as this New York sports fan, are you nervous or excited about how things have been going?
Depending on the team, it's mostly been exciting, but the one problem I have, the Knicks and the Rangers are essentially playing every other night at this point. And I'm somebody who's going to watch sports no matter what's on TV. But when it's your teams playing every other night, the amount that I get emotionally invested in these games, by the time like the 10 o'clock Nuggets Timberwolves game comes on, I have nothing left because I'm living and dying with every possession, every period, every play for the most part.
I feel like the Le Batard show is taking advantage of New York Knicks misery. They had you drive up to the game, didn't they?
I took a train.
You took a train. You took a train to the game. How long did that trip take?
It was a 28-hour train. They were like, hey, we got a ticket for this Knicks playoff game. We want you to go because we know how big a New York fan you are. And I was like, okay, there's got to be some catch because they're not just handing over a ticket to me for no reason. And yeah, I had to take a 28-hour train. And it was a weird experience because as I was going, I was kind of documenting it.
Yeah.
And the fans of the show, like their reach is so crazy that they would message me and be like, hey, you're about to pass through our town. We're tracking your train. Come out of the station and we have food for you. And it was like, it felt like I was running a marathon where at every station there was like somebody there like, come on, man, you could do it. You could do it. When in reality, I'm just sitting in a train going to New York.
I was going to say, how much reading did you do on a 28? I would have brought the Nintendo Switch. I probably could have finished off the Zelda game that I've been holding off on finishing.
Yeah, I brought my Nintendo Switch, and I have such a bad habit. Like when I'm going on these long trips, I download every podcast. I download movies. I download TV shows. Then the second the trip starts or the plane takes off, I go right to sleep and don't even think twice about the content I just downloaded.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm a plane sleeper. We're having you on to talk about the Knicks and the Rangers, but I'm curious, Vip, what is your vibe check for Tar Heel football going into this new season, new post Drake May era, post Sam Howell? We're grabbing guys out of the portal to play quarterback at the 23rd hour of UNC football.
A bit worried. I think I'm worried because one of the things I think I've been the most consistent with this North Carolina team is everybody kind of points at the recruiting metrics and saying that North Carolina has been recruiting at like a top 25 level. But the times when that quarterback hasn't been in, they haven't really looked like a top 25 team. And I don't think that talent is really getting coached up to be a top 25 level team to where you see what North Carolina looks like in the bowl game without Drake May. And it was a West Virginia team that was essentially doing whatever they wanted. And North Carolina didn't look too competitive. So I think the quarterbacks at North Carolina have been hiding a lot of the deficiencies that this North Carolina team has. And when you don't have the crutch of a Sam Howell or Drake May, I think we're going to kind of see what that talent has for this North Carolina team this upcoming season.
It's interesting you bring that up because I did a radio interview yesterday and they presented me with the talking points that are coming from North Carolina, that it's going to be running the ball. They're going to play defense. There's the whispers that Drake may turn the ball over too much. Now they can cut down on that if Max Johnson ends up being the starter. But that was the talk before camp. Coming out of camp, it seems like they're not really settled on that position. And the other thing that I would be concerned with, okay, let's say offensively, you do what you want to do. You don't turn the ball over. Amarian Hampton's going to have an incredible season, like an ACC Player of the Year type season. But you also have to rely on defense at that point, and that's been the thing that's been nagging them since. They got the Waffle House man to come through, but I just don't know if that's going to be enough to turn it around that quickly for our UNC defense. That has been the issue the entire time for Mac Brown, even going back to Larry Fedora for an example.
Yeah, I think the thing that North Carolina has working in their favor is when you look at their schedule is incredibly soft with a lot of these teams in the early part of the schedule, Charlotte and Central, to where it feels like this on paper, this should be like a nine-ish win team with how easy the schedule is and all this like experience that they have, and Omarion Hampton being the best running back in the conference. But you're looking at some of their question marks, and when one of your question marks is your quarterback position, that kind of tells how your season's going to go. And right now, the quarterback position is a huge question mark for Carolina with Connor Harrell, with Max Johnson, and now Jacoby Criswell coming back from Arkansas.
I have a question related to when you're in college, when you're playing football, and just how much time you have for other things. Drake May, since we've been talking about him, has gone viral because he got picked up by the New England Patriots. Awesome. It's, the Boston Bruins are trying to do the thing against the Panthers, which I know Roy is probably very, very upset that the Panthers cannot put away the Boston Bruins. But Drake May didn't. There was a viral clip, 2 viral clips. The first one was they were talking about what number they would be if they were hockey players, as he was wearing a Boston Bruins jersey at a game. And they both, I forgot the other player he's with, but they basically said, man, 99 would be sick. With no understanding what they were talking about when they said 99 would be pretty sick. I don't think they don't know who Wayne Gretzky is, which is this what we're showing our age, or is that just Drake May is just too locked in that he doesn't even pay attention?
I think that's showing age.
Okay.
And I think he probably comes from a football mindset,
right,
to where he doesn't even consider that 99's been taken and the 23 for basketball terms.
Yeah, and then there was the clip where he was clearly talking about Andrei Svechnikov and the lacrosse goal. He's like, yeah, man, I saw this clip of this guy. He picked up the stick like this and he lifted it up and he put it in like a lacrosse style thing. And, Carolina fans are just screaming, or Hurricanes fans are screaming it into the void of the comment section. How does he know? You literally happened right there. To your point, Vip, I think it is just a locked in mindset of football all the time.
Yeah, he could probably tell you like the plays that they were running at Myers Park, like play by play. But if you ask hockey or another kind of sport, that's kind of their blind spots.
So wait a minute, you're telling me
Drake
May wasn't playing NHL 94 on the Genesis like we were?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, my question for Vip though is, where are you on this criticism of Drake May? I know he ends up going to New England, and maybe some of that stuff in the draft lead up was all just bluster. But I was surprised by the number of football people are like, oh, this guy's not going to make it. And he's, Merrill Hodge, he's going to get you fired because of his footwork. And I think I saw an asinine Instagram reel story, something.
Okay.
It's showing Jaden Daniels throwing the football and Drake May, and it's like edited. I'm just like, okay, people. But Vip, were you surprised, as I was, that so many people were like, oh, yeah, this guy, he's a major project?
Yeah, the closer we got to the draft, it felt like the more people were trying to poke holes in Drake May's game. And as we're getting closer to the draft, all the talk was like JJ McCarthy, people really like him and he's moving up. I'm like, guys, the tape doesn't lie. We could watch the tape. You put Drake May on that Michigan team, they're winning the national title even easier than they did. You put JJ McCarthy on that North Carolina team, and they look a lot closer to what North Carolina looked like in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. But yeah, I'm somebody who, and I also think Drake probably gets an unfair deductions from his pro evaluations just because of some of the quarterbacks that North Carolina has had recently. When you're watching the Commanders and Sam Howell has a tendency to hold on to the ball longer and maybe didn't work out exactly how Washington fans thought, or you have somebody like Mitch Trubisky who gets drafted over Patrick Mahomes and that situation and how it played out in Chicago. So I think people kind of have this mindset of like, oh no, not another North Carolina quarterback, not really taking into account that every quarterback's different. They're playing for different quarterback coaches, they're playing for different head coaches, and that everybody's situation is kind of different.
All right, I got two more things for you, Vip, before we say goodbye. And again, appreciate you joining us. The first one is age NHL 94, but we're getting ready for a new college football game. EA just dropped the teaser for the return of NCAA football, and there's going to be payments to players and everything else. When you were in college, did anybody care about those types of things, or was it just the adults that were trying to live vicariously through college? When you were on campus, did they play NCAA college football?
I believe the first 2 years I was on the team, NCAA football was still coming out because 14 was the last one with Robinson from Michigan. So we would always have those in the locker room, and people would be playing. And it would be funny to see people in the locker room like trying to find themselves in the video games, especially with like the dual numbers and trying to figure out who's who and what your overalls were. And, you know, when it says like, this guy's faster than me, but we just ran sprints outside, and it's like, no, I was definitely faster than that guy. So I think it's going to be huge on college campuses, just from like, it's cool seeing yourself in a video game and those guys being able to play with themselves. And it was a situation. I think I saw if you opt into the game, you get some part of, I think it's like a set price and then maybe like a copy of the game. And I saw some people saying like, why would they take that? And it's like, because most of these college kids just want to be in a video game, and this is probably their only opportunity to be in a video game. Not everybody is the Arch Mannings of the world.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring it up that way, because I remember going to various ACC kickoffs, right? And this topic would come up. And I think most of the athletes at the time that we talked to, you know, we're looking at it from adult sensibilities. Like, well, of course I want to get paid. What's going on here? I remember we talked to Jeff Capel, who's the head coach at Pitt now. And I had brought that Coach K game around. He's like, yeah, we didn't get paid for that. I didn't care because that was me in the game. So I think sometimes we forget what it's like when you're a teenager and you're just playing video games and you see yourself on the screen. That's enough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. We'll go on this. Is being a Knicks fan the most NC State part of you?
Yeah, it's especially like people love to just like dismiss the Knicks and downplay them. And I got Draymond
because they never win anything.
I got Draymond Green coming on the TNT show saying like this Knicks team is a fluke and comparing them to the 2021 Hawks. And it's like, I've been through so many bad lineups of basketball, and, you know, watching the Lance Thomases and the Alexei Shveds, where it's like, I finally have somebody that I could like be proud of watching play basketball in Jalen Brunson. And it's like, just let me enjoy how fun I have with this team. They're decimated with injuries. No Julius Randle, no OG Anunoby right now, no Mitchell Robinson, Bogdanovich. But like, this team still does find ways to win, and it's really fun. And the Rangers are kind of the opposite of that right now, where it's like, this Knicks team is all heart, this Ranger team is all talent. Yeah. If you can kind of combine the two, you would have a really good team. But I think one of the things in this Ranger series that kind of threw me off was when the Rangers went up 3-0, I was like, something's off here. Like, this series shouldn't be as easy as it's been. And the past two games, it's felt more like the series that people kind of thought you were going to get going into it. And I was looking at the odds on DraftKings before this, and all the teams that are up 3-2 right now with a potential home game 7, it's like the Panthers are like -700 still to win the series. The Stars are like -400 still to win the series. And then the Rangers are like -250. And I'm starting to kind of mentally cope in my head, like, yeah, this is going to a game 7. And I think in hockey, especially, home ice matters the least, because if the Rangers go down 1-0 at Madison Square Garden to the Hurricanes in a game 7, the home ice, it's as quiet as a church in there, and everybody's just nervous. And
they're booing.
The vibes A home game 7 when you go down, the vibes are terrible.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm still laughing at the you being a Knicks basketball fan telling people, can I just enjoy this? It sounds like a lot of NC State fans during the Final Four run from Carolina fans. Like, you haven't won anything since 1983. Like, can they just enjoy it?
Please.
So there you go.
If I want to put Jalen Brunson in my top 5 Knicks ever, just let me. Just let me.
Let me just have this one thing. All right, Vip. Good catching up, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys.
It's Taylor Vippolis joining us here on the OG Live. Big thanks to Longleaf for sponsoring us. Check them out, longleafswine.com. I was actually at Longleaf this past Sunday. I couldn't help it. Got the burgers. Chicharrones, always good. They had the pimento mac and cheese on the menu that day.
How about the sweet potatoes?
Did not know the sweet potatoes were out because we went for dinner on a Sunday. Most of the stuff, because again, it's all fresh. They make it that, they're making it for that day. Sometimes they run out of stuff. And they had run out a few of those items, which was a bummer. But either way, that's Longleaf Swine. It's excellent stuff. And you can check them out online at longleafswine.com. Maybe you don't really feel like cooking and you just want to have some people over and vibe and maybe watch a Game 7 on Saturday at your house, a little home gating. Get Longleaf Swine. They can care that for you. Big thanks to Two Roosters. You can check them out at the arena tonight. Get your Stormy tracks, or you can check out their website, tworoosters.com. And at tworoosters.com, you can see their rotating flavors at their various locations, including that Guinness whoopie pie, huh?
You can also go for the Giglio special at the arena, coffee bourbon with chocolate chips.
Oh, you combine them?
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. Is that what you're going to do tonight?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be asleep. You are going to be asleep on press row. I can already tell.
Potentially.
I can already tell. You
might just go to the studio.
Yeah, when I got to the studio, you're going to be on the floor, stretched out, asleep. Is that what's going to be the case? Yeah, fair enough. I think we're losing Giglio slowly over here on the podcast. Big thanks to Hometown Realty. Check them out online, myhtr.com. And you can buy and sell with confidence. Again, that's myhtr.com. We appreciate them. And one other note that I wanted to bring up, we're going to do the Sports Mom. I know some people have asked when you do the Sports Mom thing, because that's the giveaway today. We're going to do that in a little bit. And we also have some Hey Joes to get to. So just be on the lookout. We will do the Sports Mom contest in a bit. So the ACC meetings wrapped up in Amelia Island, Florida yesterday, and it was concluded with Jim Phillips talking to the media. Jim Phillips, I think, did an ACC network hit with Andrea Adelson and David Hale. We're scheduled to talk to David Hale next week to kind of look back on the week that was. The thing that most people got wrapped up in was his response to what happened to Florida State in the college football playoff. And I guess Florida State fans were convinced, well, that just shows you how he's like, you're still angry about it. Jim Phillips has moved on to other topics. Most importantly, trying to get as much as they can in the revenue share out of the college football playoff. And, I get that Phillips isn't exactly the most popular commissioner right now because everybody's convinced the ACC is going to crumble. But as this was all wrapping up, Joe, there was a story that came out from Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports. Did you read it?
Mm-mm.
It's a typical Ross Dellinger piece. A lot of context, a lot of unnamed ADs. But in this particular case, he was just going over the usual stuff about how the ACC finds itself potentially crumbling thanks to Clemson and Florida State and obviously North Carolina apparently entering the chat, which we'll bring that up in a second because something funny happened today during their Board of Trustees meeting. But Ross Dellinger, again, covering most of the ground that we've seen before, but the part that I found the most intriguing was the current situation with TV. And in the piece, it says it's unlikely, this is related to Clemson and Florida State potentially leaving and going somewhere else. And this is the line. It is unlikely that any SEC or Big Ten school will agree to accept a reduction in their TV distribution to add any school. For the SEC, that is especially so given its footprint. The league already owns a foothold in South Carolina and Florida. Also, the SEC programs in those states would likely make a fuss if they aren't already over inviting the league, inviting into their league our rivals, like Texas A&M's reaction to Texas leaving for the SEC. In order for the Big Ten and the SEC to expand, they'd likely need more money from their television partners. A lot more money, more than $100 million a year. That's primarily Fox for the Big Ten and ESPN for the SEC. There is one problem. Quote, there isn't as much money in the market as there once was, said a conference official with knowledge of the network's dealings. Where have we heard this before?
On this podcast.
How many times have we talked about the idea that there's all this money at ESPN that they're willing to just hand out to new schools to make everybody happy has always been based in like some sort of fantasy general manager situation. They only have so much money that they've earmarked for these college events. You look at what they've prioritized at ESPN/Disney, what they've done with the NBA, or what they're going to do with the NBA. They're going to pay double for a worse package when this is all said and done because there's competition. And then same with the NFL. Having the NFL in those events is incredibly, incredibly beneficial to them. And they seem to have what they think is valuable in college football. And if they're trying to pinch pennies so that they can pay for the products they want, or they're trying to keep as many sports on their network as possible, as they just announced their new streaming venture with Warner Brothers and who's the other one? It was with Turner and Fox. You want the inventory, which is why, and Joe, you've said this all the time. Why would ESPN tear up the ACC contract when it's already a pretty good bargain deal with all these sports and all these properties?
They have no incentive to do that. And now you're hoping Fox comes out of nowhere and comes over the top, which I think that ship has potentially sailed. I mean, you want to get into the Carolina stuff. I think Carolina is the biggest brand out there. I thought they were bigger than Oregon and Washington, but the thing about being that big of a brand is you're not going to take a reduced rate, which is what Oregon and Washington did to get into the Big Ten.
And that's something that some Clemson fans have been in my mentions or emailed in relation to, well, even at a reduced rate, at some sort of prorated entry to the SEC or the Big Ten, you're still going to be making $10 to $20 million more than you'd be making at the ACC, which, okay, fine, cool. If money's the only thing that you care about, but you know what you've also done by going to the SEC or the Big Ten?
Putting yourself behind most of those teams in the SEC and the Big Ten.
Which is the point of getting to the college football playoff, right? What's an easier place to do that? Hey, you're not taking as much money from the ACC when you make the college football playoff, but at least you'll actually get into the college football playoff.
Yes.
Rather than being like, not everybody can be an S tier in their conference. Everybody acts like every school has to be an S tier in their conference. The Vanderbilts and them have to exist too.
Somebody's
Somebody's
got to be at the bottom.
Nobody wants to be, nobody wants to be the bottom in the situation. Wait, you know what? Never mind. Speaking of North Carolina, you talked about the brand that they are. You and I are in agreement on that. It's interesting that they talked about South Carolina and Florida. They didn't bring up North Carolina when it came to bringing on a team. But a funny thing has happened with North Carolina, where earlier in the week, the Board of Trustees made a bunch of noise about not liking the finances of the athletic department. I guess they were upset about how things were handled in the pandemic with Bubba Cunningham. Remember, they didn't cut any sports. They wanted him to cut sports, I guess. And there's also some political jockeying, currying favor with a base. Maybe it works out for you. So Bubba Cunningham, the AD, leaves the ACC meetings early to come back for today so that he could, as David Hale put it, shore up support in that Board of Trustees. But then today, after all eyes were on the Board of Trustees to see how they would talk about the athletic department, see what Bubba Cunningham would say, they kind of backed off of it. This is from David Hale at ESPN. UNC Board of Trustees Chair John Pryor says there will be no athletics budget discussion in closed session today. A lot of us are very passionate about our athletic programs. Concerns about our future have been expressed, and those come with legal risk. We did not speak with precision or clarity on Monday. Can I run that through the fans later? Essentially, what they're saying is, "Hey, yeah, so we did a little too much FSU. We apologize. That's not the way to go about this. We're supposed to do things a little bit differently." Are you going to read into it that way?
Feels right.
Clarity and precision. Yeah, damn it. We sounded like a bunch of message board cosplayers, discussing what we're going to do. The other tweet that came from David Hale from this meeting was interesting as well. And this is from the interim chancellor, Lee Roberts. Quote, "It's obviously a time of significant upheaval, and my job and the job of our athletic director is to make sure when the dust settles, Carolina is better off." So we'll close this conversation with this particular point. What about Bubba Cunningham's career? What about North Carolina in terms of where they are in the brand would make you think that when the dust settles, they won't be fine?
I can't really think of a scenario.
That's the part. I want this now. Well, yeah, I think everybody wants it now. I think some people would like to speed up what the ACC is going to look like when the dust settles. I don't think North Carolina is going to be a part of the ACC when the dust settles, but everybody wants to speed this process up. You can't, unfortunately. And a lot of that has to do with the television contracts. But at the end of the day, the Board of Trustees should know that North Carolina is going to be just fine. Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer for sponsoring Ovies and Giglio. Check them out online, wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. I feel like we should have talked to Whitaker and Hamer and having you sign a release before you have all this THC.
Probably not a bad idea.
Are you feeling all right?
I feel good.
Yeah, you clearly feel good. I know I've lost you. You're gone.
No, we got 2 shows today, sir. You gotta pace yourself.
You're not making it to tonight. I'm convinced of this. So check out wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. Maybe I should have taken some insurance out for Joe after this. I should have called Matt Davis to see how this all played out. Do you have an insurance policy for when Joe drinks too much of this seltzer for a podcast live?
No.
Check him out, Matt Davis, insuregarner.com, the OGinsurance.com. Or call him directly at 919-779-8277. Big thanks to Matt Davis for sponsoring us. From dual wheeling dad on the YouTube comments, feeling great. Laugh cry emoji from Evan. What an episode. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. From Zach, I could fill in for Giglio after dark. Zach, I might have to tick you up on that. Thankfully, we do have Mike Maniscalco and Luke DeCock to hang out with us. Are you in a state to make a bet?
All of my golf bets were terrible today. I'm not happy.
Yeah, the PGA Championship's going on right now.
Yeah, Xander Schauffele.
Did you bet against Tiger?
No. I mean, what did he end up? He started slow.
He started slow. I think he ended up fine.
I think the course was a little bit tougher than most people, myself included, expected it to be.
Okay.
Except, of course, for Xander Schauffele, who tore through that thing today. So
I'm going to log into DraftKings. I want to see what I've not been so hot. I'm waiting for some futures to potentially cash in. I only have $3.74 left right now in the account. I got to refill it, but I'm going to go to the Carolina Hurricanes right now, which you can too. And they've got what do we have here? We have a Here I Am. Get it? Rock you like a hurricane.
Oh, very clever.
Get it. So here it is, plus 675. Back these Carolina playoff stat leaders to come up big and force a game 7. Jake Gensel to score a goal. I like those chances. Sebastian Aho, plus 1 point. Brady Shea, plus 1 assist. And, of course, the Carolina Hurricanes to win. I am going to bet the remaining money that I have on this and call it a day, and I'll win. Do you know how much I'm going to win?
$10?
I'm going to win $20, Joe.
Whoa.
$20.
Whoa.
I'll be good to go on the DraftKings. So check out DraftKings right now. Use that promo code OG24. When you bet $5, you will get $200 in bonus bets. I know when I signed up for DraftKings back when everything went live, I put a lot of those futures bets on the Carolina Hurricanes. So we need this to work out for the Carolina Hurricanes. And while all this is going on, with a chase for the cup is going on, North Carolina customers can place a pregame moneyline bet on Carolina. If they lead by at least 2 goals in any time during the game, you win, even if they end up losing. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code OG24. New customers who bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Again, that's code OG24 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 8777-1-85543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. 1 early win per opted-in customer. Max bets. Limits apply. Token expires at the start of the game. See dkng.co/ice for wagering eligibility and terms. Again, use that promo code OG24. Let's see, what do we have here in the comments? We have from Maxwell, Joe Gigglesio. Yes, indeed. Are you good with the mic, bro?
I'm putting it back on.
Oh, okay.
You're going to the phone calls.
I am going to go to the phone calls. It is now time to do the Mother's Day. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You plugged in so you can hear it?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. You need your earphone. You need your earbuds. Your terrible, terrible earbuds. All right, so here's what we did. We've opened up the OG Sports phone. You can call it at 919-444-2211. We appreciate everybody who has participated in this. It's been fantastic. We absolutely love it. It's given me some more editing work, but you know what? It's all good because the calls have been fantastic, including the one guy who's doing the impressions. We got a Roy Williams impression, which we'll save for another day. We'll save it for the other day. But what I wanted to do on Thursdays is kind of have a prompt. And the prompt was coming out of Mother's Day to give us like a sports mom story. Because if you screwed up on Mother's Day, what's the best way to make up for it? Brown liquor, Joe. So we have a bottle of Eagle Rare that we're going to give away. Here is the sports mom call number 1.
Hey, Joe and Joe.
That's not it. Oh, yes, it is. My bad.
Hey, Joe and Joe. Steve Kittler here, calling to share a story about my mom for the Eagle Rare giveaway. Fan of y'all's work before the pod, and really a big fan of the pod. So I was a military kid growing up, moved around a lot, and my mom always volunteered to be the team mom. She made sure we always had, for this game, snacks, cupcakes, brownies, sorted little Debbie treats. You got to have those. Sodas. We were usually the envy of the other teams, and while I have quite a few stories, there's one particular mom life lesson story I'd like to share with you guys. This goes back to the summer of 1986. Good old Jacksonville, North Carolina. I was the starting pitcher in our Little League Championship game. Saw our team, Lejeune Motors, taking on the Toyota boys. Jacksonville does have a car dealership or two, maybe a pawn shop, some tattoo parlors, some adult sort of places, but I digress. So we get through the first 3 innings without much of a problem. And are leading, I believe, something like 4-0. They get a runner on base. And up comes their best player and hitter, Mike Reifinger. Well, Mike, he gets a hold of a pitch and hits an absolute no-doubter out over the left field fence. So while I'm on the mound, a bit miffed, waiting for them to finish rounding the bases, I hear a familiar voice yelling, "Hey, great hit, Mike. That was a really good hit." I'm looking, and just to the left, behind the backstop, behind home plate, I see it. It's my mom clapping and cheering for Mike in his home run. Of course, I'm none too thrilled. So, long story short, we end up winning the championship. And after we celebrate the final out, I walk right over to my mom, and I was like, "Hey, why were you cheering for Mike when he had a home run off me in the championship game?" She goes, "Well, whenever you get a good hit or you make a good play, I always want other people to cheer for you too." Moms, right? Always there to be your cheerleader, but also to center you when it's needed. Good life lesson handed to me at the age of 15.
I appreciated the recall, the year, the player, the moments, like setting the scene. That was really impressive. And I think that's the genesis for the shirt that I see at various hockey tournaments where it says, "Your mom claps for me." You've seen that one, right?
No, I'm not.
That's right. You don't do
out
that.
in the.
You're not hanging out at marching band competitions or youth hockey competitions.
Hockey circuits.
No,
I don't have a jacket.
That's right. We'll see if I get to use the jacket again. All right, we got a text as part of the sports mom request. This is unsigned. If you like it, then maybe I can we can contact it back. Anyway, it reads, "My mother, who happens to enjoy brown liquor and gets down with the occasional LIT, Long Island iced tea, was known as a tough, no-nonsense teacher in the small town of Mocksville, North Carolina. Progress reports happened to come out the same day as the big 8th grade baseball game versus our cross-county rival. In a moment of what I thought to be genius intuition, I thought I could hide my unacceptably average grades from my dear mother. After a few innings, I had yet to see my mom around the field, and I thought I was in the clear. However, while I was in the dugout waiting for my next at-bat, I heard a sound on the dirt road adjacent to the field, a sound that I've heard many, many times, the struggling engine of our late 90s Mazda MPV minivan. That those were cool back in the day. I knew the shit was about to hit the fan. The next sound that came sealed my fate. It was the sound of an unnecessarily large carabiner and that held more keys than the school could possibly have. It made the janitor's keys look like a toddler's toy, but what an impression it made. Then out of the corner of my eye, she entered the dugout in a moment that she said no words, but pointed at me, made a motion for me to remove my helmet. Without talking to the coach, I was being benched. Hell, I was being housed by my mother in the middle of the biggest game of my short middle school career. When the coach saw this happen, he simply said, "Jill, what's going on?" My mom responded, "I'm taking your first baseman's ass home." I knew fighting that would only make it worse. I removed my helmet, packed my bat bag, made my way to the comfortable captain's chair of that family minivan. The crowd of 30 plus was stunned. My friends were in awe, knowing to never again disrespect bedtime at our house. My life would never be the same, but now, as an adult, while I still have nightmares that begin with the sound of those clinking keys, I know that I'm a better adult because of the actions of my dear mother.
Some serious Casey Kasem long distance dedications going on our program.
A little bit. Let's go back to the phone calls.
Okay, guys, this is Sabah. This is for the Mother's Day thing. So when I had my daughter Hannah on June 7th, 2002. I had to stay a 2-night stay, and on June 8th, 2002, my newborn Hannah and I were in our hospital bed watching the hurricanes. I was exhausted. I think she was exhausted. I'm not sure. She didn't really say much. And I kept her in my bed, and we watched that game, if I'm not mistaken, for 3 overtimes. And then we lost. So that's a sports story related to a mother who was birthing her baby within 24 hours and watching the game with said baby. So that's my story. Now, I have other things that involved sports with, quote, Mother's Day, when I had my son Adam on September 30th, 2000. I was in the hospital giving birth to him, and not mistaken, it was the next day because I had to stay 2 nights in the hospital. I was watching Tampa Bay and the Redskins play, and I remember telling the nurses to change my room because I could not get the channel that the game was on in my said room. So they moved me to another room, and me and my newborn son sat there and watched Redskins play Tampa Bay. One more story. During my wedding, which was September 24th, 1995, I was in Crystal City, Virginia, right outside of D.C., taking pictures just before our wedding, and I had at that time the little portable TV with the little rabbit ears, and I was watching, again, Tampa Bay playing the Redskins. And during the pregame pictures of us, wedding pictures with the guy, I had my phone, my little portable TV, watching the game, and the photographer said, "Could you kindly put that away so I can take some pictures in?" And I did. So basically, my marriage and the birth of both of my children involved sports, but the most important one I thought you guys would be interested in was the one with the Hurricanes game when Hannah was born in 2002. So hopefully I can win the prize because I'm all about winning, guys. I love you guys. Love your podcast.
Sabah's a real one, man. An absolute real one. 3
Again,
stories.
The detail.
A triple pack. The detail was off the charts. My goodness. All right, this was the text. This might be our winner. So I have 2 sports stories. Sex bet with my husband. I think it was 2009, the last Duke Carolina game of the season. And the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament were on the line. I'm a pessimistic Carolina fan. I thought they would lose, so I bet my husband if they lost, he would get lucky. Carolina won, so did my husband. Reverse curse? Right, they did win in 09. Maybe. Joe's completely lost. Other story, we were selling our North Raleigh house ourselves back in 2006, a very hot market, and we had multiple offers. Final matching offers came down to a Duke grad fan and a Carolina grads fans. Talked my husband into selling to the Carolina grads and fans. P.S. F the guy who called in and said F Carolina. P.P.S. I'm a vodka girl, so save the brown liquor for another contestant. Love you guys.
So we'll get her some Tito's.
Well, okay. All right. We'll determine who's going to be we'll determine who gets the brown liquor. Another call for the sports mom.
Hey, Joe and Joe. Pam O'Connor, really happy listener here, calling about your giveaway, your sports mom giveaway. So I am the sports mom I'm calling about. I'm also a loyal listener. Back in the day, before my son was grown, heavily involved in taking him to all of his sports extracurriculars, which included a lot of basketball, as well as marching band. And I know people might want to disagree with me on whether marching band is a sport, but it is a sport. It's heavily involved in football season, and it was intense back in the day. So anyway, love the podcast. Love what you guys are doing. Thanks for the opportunity for the contest. Hope to win. Bye-bye.
Pam might be the clubhouse leader because she is correct. Marching band is a sport.
She knew how to pull the right harpstrings.
She does.
there.
No, she does. She does. She look. Marching band is absolutely a sport. The timing, the precision, the fact
Practice.
that there's all that practice, the amount of time. I mean, Caleb was doing trumpet at Enloe. He's going to move to front ensemble, but when they would get him out there in August in that heat all day, his arms, man, he was getting yoked from all that, running around and holding it. Calves were on point. He did not skip leg day. So I don't know. Maybe that might be our winner here. All right, last one, Joe. This came in via text. Sports mom story. 2000. And my wife is within a week of delivering during the ACC tournament. I had a small fluffy toy that you would throw and it would make a noise. During the UNC weight game, I get mad and I throw the thing down the carpeted floor so hard I break it. The thing now goes off just by walking by. She is so horrified that she looks at me and says, "You are not holding the baby during the NCAA tournament." Baby was born on the 14th, and she keeps the baby away throughout the UNC run to the Final Four, thus ensuring my kid's safety. Hardcore mom stuff. I don't think you were going to throw the baby now. All right, who do you want to give the winner to?
Let's just get the Tito's.
We get the Tito's.
To Vodka Mom, and then
Vodka
you
Mom.
pick the other one. I got faith.
I'm going to go Pam.
Pam? Is that the band?
The marching band.
All right.
I mean, there were some valuable life lessons in there.
They were all like Casey Kasem's long distance dedication.
There were valuable life lessons there, and I'm not dismissing any of them. But ideally, a mom called, which is good. That's going to give you bonus points. And 2, played the right card talking about marching band. And I'll fight anybody who says marching band is not a sport. So thanks to everybody who participated. We'll have some more contests like this going forward, so don't worry about that. I thought that was a lot of fun. You're not rocking Roback today, are you?
No, I got my lightning on today.
Okay. Some people have been pointing out that polo. Now, here's the thing. With Roback, and you can use the promo code OG20. With Roback, you'll save 20% with that promo code, and you'll find some of the most comfortable polos, hoodies, joggers, and shorts. I've been big on the shorts.
I basically tweeted at Tiger Woods today as he sweat through his new clothing company on the first hole in Kentucky when it's not, it's not blistering hot, that he should have signed with Roback, the most comfortable golf shirt there is.
Missed opportunity. So just go ahead and head out to roback.com, RHOback.com. Use that promo code OG20 and you'll save 20% off your order. Big thanks to Jason, OG Scoreboard. He did the Sporkle thing for us at the OG birthday bash a few weeks ago. We had a lot of fun with that. I'm still kind of upset that I lost, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe you want to participate in some Sporkle trivia at some of your favorite locations, your favorite bottle shops. You can go to sporkle.com/OG Triangle. No Shady's music quiz tonight because of Game 6 of the Stanley Cup with the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers. Just wanted to put that out there. But you can put your knowledge to good use by playing Sporkle events and trivia nights at various locations. We're talking about over 15 years of experience. stats in real time. Makes it super, super easy. Just going to a little web widget. You don't have to download anything. It's great. And they're throughout the triangle. And you can check them out at House of Hops, both at all their locations, Glenwood Avenue, out in Pittsburgh, Bale Street as well. And we appreciate them for sponsoring Ovies and Giglio. Let's get out of here before Joe passes out with some Hey Joe questions, shall we? How you feeling, by the way?
I feel good.
There's probably some memeable moments from today's show if I go and look at it. I can't take you anywhere, man. I swear. Did you want to get something else before we talk to Ian? Or is Ian going to bring you something?
No, we're just going to talk to Ian.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Anyway, Crank Arm Brewing brings you Hey Joe. Check them out, crankarmbrewing.com. They're also going to bring us an After Dark tonight. I want to get on DraftKings and see if I can get a Will Joe Make It to OG After Dark later today. And we'll explain some things to Ian about Ian in a second. But in lieu of doing people are just, what do we got here from Ken? Look good, feel good. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Steve, hey man, sorry. I appreciate you participating. Sadness, not winning the Eagle Rare to the band kid. Hey man, it happens like that sometimes. It happens like that. From Bull City Coordinators, got started watching this late, but Giglio looks like he's about to go on the most epic side quest of all time. Yeah, that sounds about right. You back at this? Do I need to turn your mic on? Boom, you good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready? All right, let's go to the OG Sports phone in lieu of Hey Joe. Let's see what we got here.
Hey guys, this is Robert calling from Apex, and I've got some beef with Sarah Sivian. She recently said on the podcast that the Hurricanes were lacking a superstar and that Aho would be great as a second-line center, and I disagree with that. I think the Hurricanes, as they're built right now, have the quality depth that it takes to win the Stanley Cup. I don't know if they're going to do it this year. I hope they do. But you look at other teams like Dallas, Vegas, Florida. I throw the Canes in that mix. The depth scoring that we have is enough to get it done, and those teams are always in the mix. And you look at teams like Edmonton, Colorado right now, they could lose tonight in 5 games to Dallas. But I don't think that the superstar is what's needed. It's the guys you surround him with. I look at Vegas last year. Who's their best guy in the playoffs? It was Jonathan Marchessault, but I'd argue their best forward is probably Jack Eichel. Is he that much better than Sebastian Aho? I don't think so. And they're able to get it done in the playoffs with Aiden Hill in net, mind you. So my thought is the Hurricanes, as they're built, are good enough to win the Stanley Cup. I don't think we need a superstar forward like Nathan McKinnon. I don't think we need to go out and trade for Austin Matthews, nor do I want that cap hit on the team, because I think the players around him have to be worse. They have to take smaller deals to make the cap work. I think the Canes can pull it off. I think you're going to see this year a team like Dallas or Florida or the Hurricanes get it done with their depth like Vegas did last year. That's my beef with Sarah Sivian. I'd love to hear your takes, and go Canes.
Okay, first and foremost, thanks for calling the OG Sports phone. Secondly, in Sivian's defense, she said, "Can I give you my hottest take about the Canes?" She prefaced it by saying, "This is a hot take. This is something that's going to come in hot. It's going to get some people going on it." But she buys into her hot take. I don't think she's off base with what she's saying about Sebastian Aho. Or as Bennett puts it in the YouTube chat, Canes might not need a superstar, but they currently have 4 different fourth-line centers in Aho. As I think at the end of the clip that I put on Reels, you were like, yeah, Sebastian Aho could be the number 2, which then puts Jordan Stahl where he probably should be at this point, a 4.
Yeah, man. You look at it, Aho, think about how much better Aho's been just with Gensel. You know, Like, think about it. If he did have a real superstar winger with him for a full season, and if that's your second best player, that's not a bad thing. Most teams, that's how you win the cup. You know, Eric Stahl, Rod Brindamore were 1A and 1B. Like, that's your too easy.
You lost it. All right, let's go to the sports phone. What do we got here?
Since you guys are up at Nature's Relief today, I figured I'd tell you this quick story. So I went to the Canes game where Fetch scored the Michigan goal for the first time, but I was on 2 Rice Krispie treats that my coworker had made that day. And obviously they were special Nature's Relief style Rice Krispie treats. And I had only tried to eat one, but I parked far away where you used to be able to park for free. I don't think you can park for free there anymore. You know, the old dirt lot. And I ate one and I thought I left the other one in my car, but then I was getting ready to go through security and I realized I had the extra one in my pocket. So I had to eat 2. So when Fetch scored that goal, I think we were down 1-0 at the time too. It's just like, it didn't even seem real. My buddy had tickets and we were like 5th row, like right behind the net where it happened to. So I don't know. Just thought, since you guys are fellow partakers of the Holy Sacrament, I thought you might like that story. Go Canes.
You can't even put words together. This is from John, Joe G. I have a great point to make here. And here it is. ... From Paul. I can see Giglio struggling to put sentences together in real time.
I saw the flavor of your beer for tonight. Did you?
Yeah, I have not put that up yet. Serena, it's got the beer stick. I'm going to meet the crew in the parking lot today. Saranac Blueberry Blonde for the beer stick. At least it's not pumpkin. I know you're worried about you turning into Brinson over there with the microphone. Man, imagine if Brinson was here for this. All right, I'm going to harsh your vibe. You ready to harsh your vibe? You are like, how many sports phone calls do we have?
A lot.
People loving the sports phone, Joe.
That's weird. We
and
totally invented that.
We did. Whiner what? Never been heard from before. But this is an unintended consequence of doing the sports phone, which is 919-444-2211. This now gives my dad a new way to contact me.
Oh.
Mi hijo, este es tu padre. Listen, I can't believe that tonight I'm actually going to tune in to the NFL schedule reveal show, because since I'm going to the FSU game for homecoming, I want to see if I get a doubleheader, and the Dolphins are there that Sunday. So I can't believe I'm being trapped in the middle of baseball season and the Cardinals to watch this ridiculous NFL event.
So my dad calls twice. He followed up.
Hey, Joey, this is your dad. At the NFL schedule reveal, the Dolphins are playing the day after Miami, Florida State on October 27th. The problem was that if I hadn't, haven't subscribed to the Dolphins email, you need, in Ticketmaster, you needed an access code, which for the Dolphins was FINS24, to actually buy the ticket. And I got one ticket in the lower bowl on the Dolphins sideline. It cost me $500.
This is what I get to deal with now. He couldn't have texted me that. Didn't want to call me. No. He called the OG Sports phone to tell me
that
this.
Means he listens.
No, you know what that means is that he's finally realized, oh, he's ignoring my text, or I know he's not going to look at this text, so I know how to finally get through to him. It's like what my brother used to do, because I would have my phone up on the counter and he's texting me. I wouldn't respond. He would send me a DM on Twitter with, look at your phone. I know you're on Twitter. He wasn't necessarily wrong about that. Anyway, that is the OG Sports phone for the Hey Joe. Call him call it 919-444-2211. Do we want to, Ian, do you want to sit down before we wrap things up so we can explain what's happening to Joe Giglio right now, what you gave him? Because these are things that I've always known about Joe, Joe has no tolerance whatsoever. You give him one pour, 2-ounce pour of bourbon, and you get a little kernel in you, and you start feeling it, Joe. You can't even talk. That's the best part about this.
We have Ian to talk.
All right, we got Ian here. Ian, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Oh, wait, let's hold on. Gonna move up to that microphone if you can, then we'll be good to go. All right, so Joe had a seltzer to start.
He had a tea.
He had a tea.
A 3 milligram Delta 9 THC tea.
And then what was in that hippie sip that you gave him?
50 milligrams total, but what he got was probably around 5 as well. So
okay,
8 to 10-ish milligrams he's probably on.
It's early. It might be getting early late though.
Yeah, dude, you're done today.
In comparison, I did finish the rest of the hippie soda.
Okay, so that's what I was going to
also
ask.
had a 10 milligram Keef soda that we sell here as well.
That's what I was going to ask. So we're at Nature's Relief today doing the podcast on Western Boulevard. Come hang out. And if you got questions about how exactly all this stuff works, they can answer them. And I actually have questions to close out the podcast. So you said, like, this is Joe on roughly 10 milligrams, 10 or 15 milligrams?
8 to 10.
8 to 10 milligrams of Delta 9 that came in drink form.
Yes.
Which is a faster way
Absolutely.
to metabolize. Yep. Got it. This is supposed to be a sessionable type thing, right? But everybody's different.
Depends on your session.
Okay, that's true too. So I've seen Joe on some beers. I've seen Joe on liquor. Okay. This is not the same thing that I'm witnessing right now.
Seems pretty happy to me.
He's happy, but when you get him on beer, he won't shut up.
Which do you prefer?
Well, when we're trying to do a podcast, I prefer the fact that he won't shut up.
Gotcha.
That would be helpful on a podcast, so I'm not just talking to myself.
Fair enough.
So I prefer beer-related Joe on that end. But I guess that's the thing that people need to understand. As somebody who's mostly a beer drinker, and I move over to some of these seltzers, while they are sessionable, you also have to find how they work for you. So what would you recommend if somebody gets a seltzer? Like, have one and then wait how long?
It depends on how long you drink it, but if you just face it, give it 15 minutes before you start drinking another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. With Joe, I would say about an hour before you drink another one.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
good.
to experience the full, but it's usually 15 to 30 minutes of activation. And then, that way, the good thing with drinks is it's quick enough that you can stop, once you start feeling it, if you need to. Or you can drink a whole hippie sip, whatever you want to do.
From Matt, a 5 milligram seltzer is practically a shorty high life, doesn't count, which gets to different metabolism. So I see you have these bottles. That hippie sip is 50 milligrams of Delta 9. But you say you could just drink a bottle?
Yep.
Like how in just one sitting?
I can do a lot more than that.
So how much do you need to feel something?
So it depends on the gummy or the edible, whatever you're taking. My daily medicinal dose that I wake up with, we sell here is the Cycling Frog 1-to-1s with THC and CBD.
Okay.
And those I feel great. If it's more recreational or even just middle of the day, need a boost, I can drink a hippie sip and be fine. But for somebody that's newer to it, like you gentlemen, you want to start with the 5 flowers, the tea that he had. And, but it's all about finding your dosage and then what works for you. Because there's where the bluegrass tea made him quiet, he might drink an Eternal and be bubbly.
So here's what I need for Joe when it comes to these things, and I should be taking notes on this. I need stuff that gets him active, not chill. Like, I know that about myself, right? Like, I know if I take a Delta 8 drink, it's going to be sleepy time for me. I've done that in the past. Like, if I know, watching a game, brain's kind of active because you've been editing, tweeting, whatever, I'll crack open a seltzer while I'm doing it because I know by the time I'm done, I'll be in a position where I'm just going to get sleepy time. Delta 9 has me like this, which is more manageable. I mean, for heaven's sake, I took one of your gummies that was supposed to be like a chill effect, and we did it. We did content that I probably should have been sober for, and I wasn't. But that's another story altogether. So that's what the drinks do to me. If I was coming as a customer, as a new customer, not understanding things, what is like a sample size so I know?
Kind of what he had and what you had with the 5 flowers,
okay.
The bluegrass tea, something lower like that.
But do you guys offer samples or smaller dosages so you can understand what's going on before I buy, say, a full bag of something?
Yeah. So, I mean, a single can at 5 milligrams is pretty much a sample dose.
Okay.
We do have smaller packages of like gummies and stuff like that for trial sizes. But at 5 milligrams, I mean, that's I mean, other than the 3 milligram, that's almost as low as you go, other than just having a straight CBD drink, which we also do have.
Yes, I know some of the drinks are just straight CBD, 25 milligrams, but that's just supposed to chill you out, right?
Chill you out, and then also just the many, medicinal benefits of CBD without the psychoactive effects of the THC for sure.
Gotcha. Joe, you got anything before we wrap things up?
No. We are not at the home headquarters, though, in Garner.
No, maybe next time we can do that.
And I will say,
yes,
that does make a difference where you're at. Because at home, where he's more comfortable in y'all's home base, he might be a little more talkative. Once you get out of your element and you
that's fair.
Get a little.
It's staring at me right now. You have CBD products for pets as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know, Joe, when you saw that, you're like, oh, I'm definitely buying some stuff for the pets. So that's look, people with dogs, aches, pains, all that, trying to chilling the dogs out. You have all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting us hang out.
It's been a lot of fun. This is cool.
The next time you give Joe something to drink, it's going to be the opposite effect.
I can whip something up for him.
All right. Heck, we might need to do that before the game tonight. Just saying. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's OG Live. We'll have an after dark, I promise, one way or the other. And again, big thanks to Five Flowers for having us out here on the West. Big thanks to Nature's Relief for having us out here. It's the Five Flowers talking. Nature's Relief Hempstore.com is where you can check them out. But better yet, go to their locations, drop on by Western, get that hippie sip. It's good stuff. We'll see you later.